Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second round of the Overwatch Division 2 match where we have Seward High School versus Omaha Skutt Catholic. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the rosters here. We have M. Trekker, who is a support. We have Silfang, who is a DPS, and this is for Omaha Skutt. We have the Sweet One, who is a tank. Master Jugo, support. Chumley, tank. And Creepy Smile, DPS. And then for Seward, we have Sandman, who is a support, Spooky, who is DPS, Ripus, who is a tank, Gorilla Munch, who is tank, Smug, who is DPS, and Shadow Sniper, who is support. So Seward will be coming into this one as the number 2 seed at 6-0, and Omaha Skutt will be coming in at 5-1 as the number 3 seed. So this should be a pretty even matchup between the two as we get this round started here in about 5 seconds. So Seward is going to be on the attack and Skutt is going to be on the defense. So we're going to see Chumley pushing up here, and from both teams we can see some pretty good comps coming out. It looks like Seward is going for more of what we call a brawly comp, which is people that are going to be up in the front line doing a lot of damage, trying to just pressure them a lot, and it looks like Skutt is going to be going for about the same. So this should be a pretty even contest. We get an early pick here by Creepy Smile. And it's just going to fall down here as the team for Seward is split pretty hard here. And it's just going to be a fall as Chumley cleans it up with a nice 4K here. And Gorilla Munch is going to try and fall back, but unfortunately does not and gets picked. The one thing that we do say in Overwatch, though, is it's better to die as a team than alone. Because for those of you that don't know, if you die later than your actual team, then you're going to actually cause a longer respawn, which makes it longer for you to get to the point. So we're going to have our second push here as Seward comes in. Nice little pressure here. We have a big shatter here, a nice 6-man shatter, and that's going to be a clean up for Skutt here. Chumley once again just coming out and doing a nice job of pressuring the front line there, and just Skutt right now is just making a statement to Seward that they're here to play. And so Chumley does a really good job of getting a nice shatter there. When the Ryan shield comes down, the block is null and void. And so here we go with another team fight here as it's just continuing to try and push in. Seward needs to try and get something going here. They actually pull out the Widow here, which is a very interesting pick considering that they really aren't picking a lot of line of sight here. But right as I say that, they get a pick on the Sweet One here, and now you're going to see Skutt start to back up, and the window comes out. A big shatter there by Ripus, though, and that's going to be a clean up for Seward. And that's going to be the team kill for them, almost. And they are going to actually get the point here. Don't think we'll really see a contest here by Skutt. It's very hard to get back in such a short amount of time, but they are going to have a very close hold here. So the Widow actually proved to be a very good pick. She came out and she got a pick and ultimately allowed Seward to get the push that they needed to get the points. So now we're going to be seeing a big time change here as we can see Seward starting to push the high ground here on Skutt. Oh, and here comes out the Junkrat Tire, which could be big for them, and that's going to pick off the Mercy, which is a good healer to pick off here. They only have Lucio heals, and Lucio is not going to do the job as Chumley once again is just going to push into the front line and start doing a bunch of damage. And this is where the Widow pick starts to kind of get a little interesting because really not able to do a lot here, and a good pick by Chumley there to back them off even more. So Skutt, after their first hold falters, they get a very good hold here on the contest for high ground. Just because of the Junkrat Tire, honestly, it really initiated a really good push by Skutt to be able to get down in the team. Oh, and the Earth Shatter, but the Grav comes out here, and a nice block on that Earth Shatter by the bubble by Zarya. Unfortunately, though, both visors by the soldier going to come out, and it looks like it's not going to be enough for Seward as Skutt gets a nice good pick on the soldier there to cancel the ult and make it a win for Skutt in this team fight. So now Seward has to decide what they're going to do on this next push here. The Reinhardt pushing in here, the trap is set. And Skutt doing a really good job of pressuring here with the window, and that's just a really good mine by Creepy Smile there. Gets 2 picked off. Very efficient, very nice pick by him to keep Skutt on this defense. And Skutt's doing a really good job of just pressuring them here. The big aim of Overwatch is working as a team, and Skutt is staying together because they really have nothing to contest them together. Whereas whenever Seward clumps up, this Junkrat from Creepy Smile begins to really take advantage of the clumpiness of the team. So now we're going to see a lot of value out of this Skutt team just being able to pressure them as much, and the Lucio beat comes out, so this is going to be Seward's chance. They're going to get a pick on the Zarya and continue to push forward and get more picks on the Lucio. One healer down, one tank down, and one DPS down. It is a 6v3 here, and Seward is going to continue to push up on the point. And so now we're probably going to see them go hold at least doorway here, which we do as we see Ripus starting to push up to the doorway to try and contest this. Probably going to keep usually about 2 to 3 on the point to be able to push it, because that's usually when you get your max value of pushing the point as far as you can. So now we're going to see Skutt getting the defense here. A big shatter, big block by the shatter. And then, oh, and Smug gets a nice pick on the ulting soldier. And then the window comes out. So it's going to push them back a little bit. Seward with a nice pick there on the soldier. But Skutt's just going to once again just continue to push into this team. Speeding in, getting in there, and doing a lot of damage to this team. The one thing that I say for Seward here is that right now it seems that the Mercy Lucio heals aren't doing enough to keep the team in. If over me, I would say maybe go a Baptiste or an Ana here to get a little bit more heals and then have the Lucio speed in your Ryan Zarya. It just seems like the heals really aren't doing enough to be able to contest the damage that is being put out by Skutt, whereas Skutt has the Baptiste and the Lucio and is able to null and void most of the damage that is being done. As I say that, they pick one of the tanks and one of the supports, and now it looks like Seward is going to clean this up here and push in. Here comes out the Junkrat tire, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be doing enough. Only picks off the Zarya, and the Mercy's going to get the res here, and they're going to get it to the second point. So Seward does a really good job there of just playing to their advantage, and one of their advantages, besides not having a lot of heals, is just being a very, very competitive team here and trying to push up. If they can brawl just as much, and a nice shatter there, he's going to get some picks, but if Seward can brawl just as much as the Skutt team, they've been showing this entire match that they can push it just as far, if not further, with that. So they're going to go ahead and get some cleanup kills here, and they're going to be standing on the point right outside of spawn. Seward is going to have a good chance of pushing out here and trying to get some picks if they can. They do have a few ultimates here that they could use to be able to get some advantages, so they're going to go ahead and take the high ground here, which is a very nice tactic. They have a good line of sight with their 2 double hit scan combo to be able to get some pressure on Skutt's defense. Ooh, and so the high noon comes out, and it's not going to get anything, but then the visor coms out, and Silver Fang gets a 3K to be able to get and clean up. And Seward gets cleaned up by Silver Fang. A nice ultimate there to counter, and a nice combo, honestly, for the window visor combo to be able to get the picks on Seward that Skutt needed to be able to hold this defense, and now they have to be able to hold it for another 50 seconds. It looks like Seward is going to pull out the Roadhog here, which is, and it's a nice pick for what they want to do, because they want to try and take care of this Skutt defense in a way that is going to allow the team to work together. So Roadhog can pull them into the team and use them to their advantage. Both Lucio beats come out here, so both teams are evenly matched here, and it looks like they're going to be trying to push a little bit forward, but the Lucio's the only one on point there, and that's going to be a downer for this team, because now Chumley gets the ultimate on the Reinhardt shatter and just comes in and cleans up again. The one thing that Skutt is doing a really good job here is ultimate economy. They're only using a few ults to be able to get the damage that they need, and it seems like they're really working together. The big change there for Seward was Lucio was the only one that seemed to be pushing point. Didn't know if it was a miscommunication or if there was something there that the Lucio was just trying to get pressure. But Skutt is going to end up holding it here on the third point, but Seward did a really good job of pushing the second point and getting through the line that Skutt had, which was very, very competitive and very, very challenging. I think the biggest issue right now, once again, that Seward is kind of facing is just that support comp. It's not a terrible comp to run when you are able to proceed, but when the other team just has a BAP that is keeping up the tanks in the way that Skutt is attempting to and doing a very, very good job of, it's just not enough heals to be able to stop people like Chumlee from getting a good ultimate and just carrying away with the team. So now we're going to be seeing the sides flip. So this time, Skutt is actually going to be attacking, and Seward is going to be defending. So the one thing that we can see from both teams is that they are both very, very hyperly aggressive. If they can keep up that aggressiveness and just continue, Skutt could potentially take this point very quickly. But we can see that Seward has just as much potential to be able to be just as aggressive and just as brawly and has just as much potential to be able to do so. So we will be starting here in 5 seconds as both teams get set with their even comps. So we're going to be seeing the same exact comp for Skutt here, trying to push in here, and then we're actually going to see a change up on the support line for Seward, which was a huge issue last time with an Ana Bap, and it looks like Spooky's going to take out Immort, and they're going to be... Ooh, and it looks like Skutt is going to be just pushing in, and I think the biggest thing there was that Reinhardt charged in the back line, was able to help the Junkrat get a few picks there, and it from then on was just carried out by Skutt perfectly. They did a really, really good job of pushing to point, and now this is exactly what I was talking about with the pressure. Skutt already has 2 tanks and a DPS without their support line just pushing up into the enemy. It's going to pay a price here because the sweet one is actually going to get picked off on the Zarya. The Doomfist pick here proven to truly maybe get a good value against the tanks, and it's a big stun there. That's going to be a pick on Smug, and so that's going to hopefully not pigeonhole them into a part where they keep getting picks. But Skutt's going to start to push up, and again, just this pressure that Skutt is putting on them. The window comes out, and there it is, the window visor that we saw last time where Silverfang got the 3-man, and he looks like he's going to get another 2-man here to be able to just push Skutt, and Skutt is just doing, again, a really good job of just pressuring the entire team. Seward brought out the 2 other supports that did a lot more healing than what the Mercy Lucio was. But it almost seems like the front line of Skutt is just able to take advantage of the opportunities that they are given to be the difference maker here. And the ult combo, once again, the ult economy has just been good for Skutt all around. So here we go, getting ready for another team fight, and Skutt taking high ground here with their hit skin soldier, and looks like Seward is going to go to take the high ground here, and they're going to drop straight down on top of them to contest point. A big shatter there to get the pick on the Lucio, but they're going to get a pick on the Zarya and the DPS, and that's going to be it. And a visor by Spooky here is going to get a few picks, but it's not going to be enough to be able to contest the point or hold the point because they already got it. But they do get a few picks here to hopefully cause some respawn issues for Skutt. As I mentioned earlier, if you die later, the respawn does unfortunately elongate for your team. So here we go, Skutt's going to start making a point push, but unfortunately it looks like Seward is not here fully. So they have 5 minutes to push this point. Seward has to hold for a total of 5 minutes, which is very, very difficult to do against a team comp that is as aggressive as Skutt. But if they can be just as aggressive here, then they can use it to their advantage. Skutt is going to go ahead and keep pushing it up, and there it is. Chumlee cleans up Silverfang with another big duo ult by the Bastion and the Soldier, and that is going to be the round. So once again, the big game changer here was just the aggressiveness of Skutt. They did a really, really good job of using their ult economy to their benefit, and their supports did a really good job of managing the tank line and helping the tank line through it all. A big play by Chumlee here, a big 3K. Chumlee was kind of the big team player for Skutt here. Did a lot of damage, a lot of value out of his ultimate. 13 Earthshatter kills, which is a standing number out of 16 Earthshatter stuns. They are really using his ultimate to their advantage. So yeah, we are going to get close to getting into the second round here for Skutt versus Seward. The thing that, again, we notice is that the aggressiveness by both teams is very... Alright, so we are back for the second map, which is going to be here on Volskaya Industries. A very, very beautiful map. This is going to be a map that is 2 CP. For those of you that aren't quite sure what that means, this is going to be a map that is relatively difficult in most cases of competitive play. What they have to do is they actually have to do the same that they did on Hollywood for the first point, but for 2 points this time. Hollywood would be what we call a hybrid because of the fact that usually you compare it to Control or to CP, and then you escort a payload like you would in escort game modes. So this is going to be the 2 CP map where, again, they have to try and capture 2 points here. So again, this is going to be a very aggressive playstyle by both teams. They have to use it to their advantage. There's a lot of line of sights on this that are very good for hit scans. There's a lot of cover here that is very, very useful for people like Junkrat or Farah that can get a lot of damage and a lot of value if you use them wisely. This is also a very good tank map. This is a very, very good, most of the time, Ryan Zarya map, which we saw last round. Both teams played on both times. So we'll see if they pull it out here. So the attack will start here as we watch Seward begin their attack on a little bit of a different comp here, a very, very interesting comp that we haven't seen today at all. They're going to pull out the Brig for support, which is a very, very brawly support, so once again pulling out that brawl combo. But unfortunately, this is the downside. Once you lose that Ana, you lose most of your heals for the entire team because Brig cannot put out the amount of heals that is liked, and this is going to be a big pick and a big cleanup for Skutt here to be able to win the fight. Smug will just jump off the map to get back with his team so that way they can execute another push. And Seward got the aggressiveness there. Unfortunately, though, it was lost after the first healer got picked because the healers are probably one of the most important parts of the team. Without them, you really can't do much. So it looks like they're doing a little bit of an interesting maneuver here. So when you're talking earlier about how most of the comps are brawly comps, as Silverfang gets, again, another pick on support. What we call brawly comps, but this is what we more call a dive comp, a comp that is going to be able to rush the team, dive into the back line, and be able to kill the supports, which are a very, very valuable part. And so this is going to be a cleanup once again for Skutt as they begin to just run into the team, do mad amounts of damage again. And this is the one thing that we've seen from Skutt here, even on Hollywood. They are able to just contest and push into the team without any detriment to themselves or their entire support line. Even with a dive comp here, they have to be very, very careful about how engaged they get. However, they can very easily turn around and defend their support line as well. So we're going to see Ribus jump the high ground here, and Silverfang once again with the Baptiste ult is going to dual combo, and he's going to get a pick on the support and Smug. And they're going to have to retreat once again, as this Skutt team is just proving to be a very hard team to just run into and just completely try and demolish. They have to figure out something here that's going to get into the back line easily and be able to get some value on picking off those supports. The big thing there was, again, they jumped the high ground, but I think they jumped it just a little too short. They tried to get the Junkrat instead of going for the backline where the Baptiste and the Soldier were, which would have gotten them a lot more value and would have denied that window visor combo. However, unfortunately, Seward was not able to execute that, and it cost them that team fight. However, now, once again, the Monkey is going to dive, but the team does not look like he is with them because he got shattered, and that's going to be just an unfortunate series of events. And they're going to pull out 2 ults here as they get some really good picks. Seward's going to get picks on both of the tanks, which means that now they can just basically walk into them for free and try to focus the supports. And that is exactly what they are going to do as they pick off the Lucio, they pick off the Baptiste, and now it's just the Soldier left, and he will try to contest it, and that's going to be the point for Seward. And that right there is a perfect look at what that execution of diving a comp really truly looks like. Even after the team was down, the Winston or the Monkey turned around and went back to his team to try and help them, and then they just dove in together as a whole, as a team. And that is exactly what Seward needs to look for here if they are wanting to win the second point with 3:30 left. Once again, Skutt has been a very brawly comp, but once again, once they picked off those tanks, it was very easy for them to run into the back line and pick off the healers, pick off the DPS, and get the point and value out of it. So it looks like they're going to be pushing this right side here. And a dive on the back line, and they're going to be going for the visor combo again, but they're going to pick him off. They're going to get one pick on a support, but they're going to pick off Silverfang, and now they're going to have the Grav coming in. They're going to walk in. They're going to try and get some value on the tanks here, and they finally do. They're going to activate the self-destruct, and the Reinhardt can block it. And so now we're going to have Silverfang coming back, and it's going to be a 4v2 here. And now it's going to be a 4v1 as the D.Va gets demech'd. So a very good push by Seward there. They had the right idea. Smug had the really good idea of pushing that backline and denying, once again, as I said before, that Baptiste Soldier combo, and he did it very, very well. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for Seward to get the value in the picks that they needed because, once again, Silverfang got just enough value out of it to be able to pick off the Mercy. And it allowed them to defend the point. So here we go. Seward trying to make a push into the Skutt front line, just kind of sitting behind some cover here, trying to see if they can get some value out of something, and they're going to jump the Soldier here. And it looks like it's only the Winston in the back line because of another big Earth Shatter by Chumlee, and now there's going to be the Tire, and it's going to pick nobody, but they do get the Lucio. And Skutt, once again, just denying that dive. I mean, both times that they have tried to dive the back line, it's just been Chumlee pulling out a big Earth Shatter so the team can't follow up with it. And that is a very valuable thing to have in a tank line, knowing when certain events are going to occur. So now they're going to pull out the Pharah comp, which is going to be interesting against a hit scan that has been known to use, once again, that visor combo with the BAP. So if they can get some value out of that, this Pharah might prove to not be as valuable as what they think. However, she's getting a few good picks here. Hits on the Soldier. And the Soldier is going to get picked off by Spooky, though. And now the team is going to be able to run in, try to get the supports, and they can't after Chumlee gets 2 picks on both of their supports. And now Seward is walking in blind with no supports, no help, and the Monkey is going to fall to the team. No, actually he'll get out. That's kind of impressive. That was pretty cool. Ripus actually did get out of that, and so once again, picking off those supports by Chumlee, and just a master of being able to get into places where he needs to be at the right time and making things happen for his team and creating enough space. That's the one thing that this Brawly tank combo does, is it creates enough space for this dive combo to not really do much to the backline, because once again, once you just pick off the healers, backline really can't do much. And that's kind of an issue with going more of a Moira Mercy comp here, is when that Mercy just kind of, when that Winston just kind of dives in like this, there's not much heals there for him, and he's just going to kind of get picked off. And once again, the Baptiste Soldier combo has been just a repetitive theme for this team, for Skutt, and has just allowed them to get a lot of value out of the Soldier pick in general. And M-Trucker's just going to pick off Ripus here to be able to finish it off, and the Mercy's going to die, and that's going to be the end of overtime as Skutt holds for 3 minutes and 30 seconds to be able to stop them from getting the point. And once again, the Soldier BAP has been proven to be a very big issue for Seward here, and honestly, the dive combo worked. The one time that the Doomfist dove into the backline to pick off the Soldier, they were getting some very good pushes in there. It's just unfortunately that they picked off a support, and once again, the supports are probably one of the most important parts of this game for a team-based game to keep the team alive. So now we're going to see if Seward can do the same of holding them to only first point. Now, the interesting part about this entire map is there can not be a draw, I do not believe. I believe that it can ultimately... No, I believe that there could be a draw if Skutt gets the first point and does not cap any of the second point. So Skutt has to only get 1 tick for second point, which means that they only have to stand on for about a third of the time on the point for second point to be able to get the win here. So we're going to get here started in about 10 seconds, and once again, the biggest issue is just how competitive and aggressive this Skutt team is. They are just pushing into the front line of this Seward team and just allowing them to get a lot of value. The Reinhardt is building Shatter very, very early. The Zarya is getting Grav in key scenarios to be able to use it, and the Window Visor has just once again been completely astonishing for this team. So we're going to see a very interesting double shield comp here for Seward, where they're going to be running 2 shield characters to try and negate some of the damage bot that is done by Skutt, but Skutt once again gonna get a pick on the Brig here. Not their main healer. The Moira will still be there to try and get some heals out. And they're it's gonna be a 3v5 here as Skutt just completely once again walks into the team and gets some really, really good value out of it. Sandman is gonna try and contest point here just for a few seconds, and it looks like he's gonna do it pretty effectively as Creepy Smile finally kills him. And now, with a good contest, and once again, this Skutt team is being very aggressive and pushing up even though the point hasn't even been captured yet. It's a repetitive theme by this Skutt team to be able to just push in and basically manhandle the front line and do whatever they would like. So here we go, going on to the second point with 5 minutes and 50 seconds to once again get one tick at the top of your screen. If you see that yellow arrow, that is where they have to get it to be able to win. And so we will see if they can get some value. And once again, here comes the window, but no visor this time. So they're going to not really get as much value, but still get enough value to get a pick on the Reinhardt here. But Smug's going to get a pick on Silver Fang, and that might be it for Skutt, as it's a 4v5 here. But he's got, oh, and Chumley falls short. Sandman gets the pick. So Seward did a really good hold there. They did a really good job. Yeah, I think the biggest part was the window was not gotten as much value out of as it would have if it had the visor with it. So I think it was a little bit of a premature window placement because the soldier wasn't exactly ready for it. And so it didn't really work out to their benefit. So now Skutt's going to be ready for their second push, and this is another team fight that is going to probably be very important, and he's going to pop his visor, which is going to get no picks but a lot of damage output. And now we're going to see the Sigma ult along with the Moira Coalescence, which is going to do a lot of healing. But no, the Moira goes down, and now Creepy Smile goes down there even right now. But Seward is going to fall short of another healer. Spooky jumps off the map, and now they pull the Lucio ult. Contesting for the ball, Skutt is going to try and get the pick, and now they're going to try and contest, and they do. The Moira Sandman gets on the point to be able to contest, but they die, and now that is going to be Skutt falling into line to be able to win the match against the higher seed, Seward. So once again, we said this was going to be a very contested, very evenly close match, and it really was. It was a very, very good attempt by Seward to try and get some value out of the picks that they did. They did a really good job of turning to the dive combo to be able to get some advantages there, but once again, this window visor by the Soldier Baptiste is just very hard to counter unless you are just peeking sightlines and trying to stay behind cover. But yeah, Skutt did a very good job of being very, very aggressive and using it to their advantage, and Seward hopefully can see some light in their third, fourth place match that we will be taking on later, as they will actually be facing Grand Island Northwest. So yeah, tune in for that later as we continue on, and we'll see you later.